It was 2 a.m. when a wrong number shattered the silence of a single dad's life, pulling him into a storm that would rewrite 3 futures. Miles Cooper, hands still raw from the warehouse, answered a desperate call meant for someone else. Most would have hung up. He didn't. He drove through the rain to a crumbling mansion, never expecting who he'd find, or how one night could spark a journey of second chances, quiet courage, and a love that refused to leave. If stories of hope and resilience move you, stay with us. The rain didn't whisper that night in Trenton, New Jersey. It roared, hammering the tin roof of Miles Cooper's modest home. Miles, a single dad barely scraping by, was scrubbing the last of the dishes, the faint smell of motor oil clinging to his skin. The clock read 1:57 a.m. His son, Eli, 9 and sensitive, had just fallen back asleep after a nightmare, soothed by a grilled cheese and ocean wave sounds. Miles poured the last dregs of lukewarm coffee into his mug when the phone rang. Unknown caller. 1:59 a.m. He should have ignored it. No good news comes at that hour. But something, an instinct he couldn't name, made him answer. Hello? His voice was low, cautious. A pause. Then a woman's voice, cracked and raw. Please don't hang up. Just come. 1425 Willow Creek, I can't breathe. Click. The line went dead. The house hummed with the fridge's drone and the storm's distant growl. A prank? A wrong number? It would have been easy to dismiss, but that voice, ragged, real, stuck in his chest. Miles checked on Eli, curled under a space-themed blanket, clutching his stuffed bear. He whispered an apology, grabbed his keys, and stepped into the rain. Willow Creek Drive wound through wooded hills, past gated estates and mossy signs. Miles, a warehouse worker who'd once delivered tiles in the area, didn't recognize 1425. The GPS led him to a rusted mailbox buried in ivy. The driveway stretched uphill, a tunnel of towering oaks. His heart thudded. This was reckless, maybe dangerous. But he thought of that voice again, breaking like glass, and drove on. The mansion loomed, a shadow of faded grandeur. Stone walls streaked with moss, shutters crooked, porch sagging. A single porch light glowed. Miles killed the engine, rain soaking him as he took the steps 2 at a time and knocked. Silence. He raised his fist again when the door creaked open. She stood barefoot, silk nightgown drenched at the hem, dark hair plastered to her face. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and she held a crystal glass of amber liquid, shaking. She looked at him startled, like she'd expected someone else. "You're not him," she whispered. "No," Miles said gently. "I got a call. This address. A woman in distress." She blinked, staring past him into the rain. The glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the marble floor. "I thought I called my therapist," she said, voice paper-thin. "I must have hit the wrong number." Her knees buckled. Miles caught her before she hit the floor, guiding her inside to a faded living room. An ornate fireplace sat cold beneath a crumbling portrait. He draped a blanket over her shoulders and asked, "Do you want me to call someone?" She shook her head. "There's no one left." Her name was Alina Royce. She hadn't let anyone into this house in 4 years. Grief, not alcohol, made her look unsteady, her eyes too lucid, too tired. Miles lit a fire with matches and dry logs, the warmth softening the room as the rain eased outside. "Why did you stay?" she asked, sipping tea he'd made. "Because someone called like they didn't want to be alone," he said. "And I know what that feels like." A silence stretched, not heavy, but human. "You don't have to leave yet," she said softly. Miles nodded and stayed. Morning crept in, pale light filtering through sheer curtains. The mansion looked less haunted, but no less lonely. Miles woke in the armchair, Alina asleep on the couch, blankets slipping off her shoulder. He texted his neighbor who watched Eli, then slipped on his boots. You stayed, Alina murmured, stirring. It didn't seem right to leave. In the dusty kitchen, Miles brewed coffee from sealed beans he found. Alina cradled her mug, warming her hands. Have you ever been here before? She asked. Once, years ago. Delivered tiles for a sunroom. She smiled faintly. My mother's obsession, the conservatory. She thought beauty could fix anything. Could it? Not the kind she meant. Alina's grief was armor, not a wound. She'd lost her parents and brother in a plane crash 4 years ago. A private charter to Aspen, downed in Wyoming's weather. She was supposed to follow the next day, but didn't. Everyone was sorry for a while, she said. Then the calls stopped. People moved on. I didn't. You stayed here. I disappeared here, she corrected. I had money, a name, but no reason to use either. Miles leaned forward. You didn't panic last night. You reached out. That's different. She tilted her head. Maybe. But I still called the wrong number. Or the right one, he said. Just not the one you meant. They toured the house, its corridors echoing with faded portraits. In the conservatory, grimy glass walls let in soft light. Ferns and vines clung to stone. This was my favorite place, Alina said, before I stopped growing things. Have you ever thought about starting again? Miles asked. She shrugged. What for? Who'd see it? You. Before he left, Alina stood at the door, wind tugging her sweater. Thank you for coming, even if you weren't supposed to. You're welcome. Miles hesitated. My son, Eli, he's 9, special. If I'd told anyone I left him with a neighbor to check on a stranger in a storm, they'd think I was crazy. She smiled. But you did it anyway. Yeah, because sometimes people need someone to show up. Would you come back? She asked. The garden could use help. Miles grinned. If the coffee's as good next time. Deal. Days later, Miles couldn't shake the night. His routine, warehouse shifts, grocery lists, Eli's reading exercises, felt different, touched by the memory of Alina's firelit face. That Thursday, Eli asked, When people go away, does it mean you did something wrong? Miles knelt beside him. No, buddy. Sometimes people go because they don't know how to stay. That's not about you. You came back, Eli said, setting down a toy car. Always. That night, Miles called Alina. Hope it's okay, I called. More than okay, she said. I was hoping you might. The garden still needs help. I've got Saturday off. I'll come by. Saturday morning, Eli insisted on joining. They arrived at Willow Creek, the mansion less imposing in daylight. Alina, in jeans and gardening gloves, crouched to Eli's level. You must be Eli. I've heard good things. Eli glanced at Miles, then nodded. I like castles. Then you'll love the greenhouse, she said. The conservatory was overgrown but beautiful, ivy reaching for cracked panes. Alina shared stories of her mother teaching her Latin plant names. Eli named the flora, crawly green, spiky snake vine, and Alina laughed, sudden and real. Miles noticed. You don't laugh often, do you? Not since the sky fell, she said softly. They worked together, digging, clearing, organizing. Eli relaxed, tugging Alina's sleeve to show her moss he called soft like my favorite book. She knelt beside him. My brother Charlie used to make up stories here. He'd say the vines were dragons. Did he go away too? Eli asked. Alina touched her heart. He did, but he visits here. Miles met her eyes. She nodded. Yeah, buddy, he told Eli. We'll be back. The next week, April brought warmth and lilacs. Miles and Eli returned often, taming the greenhouse. Alina grew less reserved, her stillness no longer absence but presence. Eli dubbed her Miss Alina, keeper of plant names, and she jotted his inventions in a notebook. One afternoon, Alina made an offer. Move into the guest house. Not charity, not pity. This house has been a tomb too long. You and Eli make it breathe. Miles hesitated. We don't take handouts, for Eli's sake. Not a handout, she said. A partnership. The house needs restoring. You bring intention, not just labor. He looked at Eli, at ease in the grass, then at his own calloused hands. 2 conditions. 1, I help with utilities and maintenance. 2, Eli gets his own garden bed. She laughed. Non-negotiable. They moved in that weekend. The guest house, stone-walled and rosemary-scented, felt like home. Eli painted a mural, trees, animals, stars. One evening, Alina said, "It's strange. I thought letting someone in would feel like losing control. It doesn't. It feels like getting something back." Miles smiled. You're not broken, just growing back. The storm returned quietly, an unease in the air. Eli sensed it, pacing as rain pounded the roof. A sudden thunderclap sent him burying his face in the couch. Alina froze, her breath shallow, eyes locked on the window. Miles calmed Eli, then found Alina in the study, back against the bookcase, chest heaving. "Breathe with me," he said. "In, out." "I thought I was okay," she whispered, tears spilling. "I should have been on that plane." "You didn't cause it," he said. "Grief lies. It tells you your survival cost something. It didn't." She sank to the floor. "I'm scared of being whole again, of forgetting." "You're not forgetting," he said. "You're making room." Later, Eli asleep, Alina touched Miles's arm. "Thank you for staying." 3 weeks later, Eli vanished. Miles found his sketch pad on a garden bench, pages fluttering. Panic hit. Alina spotted a muddy sneaker print by the side gate leading to the woods. They split up, Alina racing to the old rail line Eli had read about, a place where the quiet goes. She found him on a mossy platform, knees to chest. "You found me fast," he murmured. "You didn't want to hide," she said. "You didn't want to feel invisible." "I thought if I disappeared first, it wouldn't hurt as much." She wrapped her cardigan around him. "When my brother died, I pushed everyone away. Then you gave me a red crayon. That was a bridge. I see you, Eli. I'm not leaving." Miles arrived, pulling Eli into a hug. "Never, buddy." That evening, Eli said, "No goodbyes here, just see you tomorrow." The garden unveiling came, bathed in soft gold. Alina greeted guests, neighbors, teachers, families. Her welcome lived, not learned. Eli, junior garden guide, led kids through the beds, insisting dragon peppers were real. At noon, Alina spoke. "This house saw silence for too long. Then a stranger answered a wrong call and showed up. That planted something new. These gardens are for those who stay, who show up, who say you're not alone." That night, Alina opened Charlie's box, a notebook, a toy compass, a map of their pirate island dreams. "He'd have loved Eli," she said. "There's still time," Miles replied. She pulled out a card. "To Alina, you're the brave kind, staying kind." "I want that to be us," she said. "Not visitors. I want to stay." "Then stay," Miles said, kissing her. "Forever, if that's okay." The Willow Creek Center for Growing Things grew. Hand-painted tiles bore children's names. Volunteers moved with purpose. Alina, no longer hiding, became its director. One night under a full moon, Miles found a red flower pot with a card. Miles, master of quiet courage. He tucked it in his wallet like gold. The house, once a mausoleum, glowed with warmth, not from candles, but from presence, from staying, from love that came in the rain and never left. We'd love to know where you're reading from. Share your city or country below. If this story of kindness and second chances touched you, subscribe for more. Thank you for being here. See you next time.